وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ثم أما بعد. We are still discussing these three heart diseases: anger, hatred, and envy. And we said that one of the very destructive behavior is to lose anger and not to be able to control your anger. We talked so much about the definitions and what should we do to stop this. And the last thing we talked about was al-kadhimin al-ghayz, or to suppress our anger. Al-kadhimin al-ghayz wal-'afina 'anil nas wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. Kadhim al-ghayz is not easy to suppress the anger. Right? It's easier to unleash the anger and to say and to do things that makes you feel that you satisfied your anger. But to suppress it is very difficult and not easy, and it is tough. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praise those who are able to suppress their anger. In the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man kadhama ghaydan wa huwa qadirun ala infadhihi aw ala an yunfidhahu, da'ahu Allahu ala ru'us al-khalaiq wa yukhayyiruhu min ayyi al-huri sha." He who is able to suppress his anger while he was able to fulfill it or unleash it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will invite him ala ru'us al-khalaiq, in front of everyone, to let him choose which of the hur al-'ain he wants. When we do something hard for the sake of Allah, definitely we'll get a great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Imam Ghazali talked about the idea of al-hilm, and he said al-hilm, or forbearing, is against anger. And he said kadhim al-ghayz, to suppress your anger, is different from hilm, or forbearing. How is that? He said kadhim al-ghayz is to do an extreme effort to stop your anger, to keep it. But hilm is one of the virtues that when we practice all the time becomes easy for us to suppress our anger. So it's a higher level. Suppressing the anger is good, but better is to have this as part of your nature. And the hadith, إنما العلم بالتعلم وإنما الحلم بالتحلم. There's ilm, ta'allum, hilm, tahallum. Ilm, we know what ilm. العلم بالتعلم. If you want to seek knowledge, there's a way. You can go and learn and then you can get knowledge. Similarly, الحلم بالتحلم. If someone gets angry very easily, and when he gets angry it's very difficult to go back, to cool down, then that's not the end of it. There's hope. It's not a lose case. Like seeking knowledge takes some effort. Also, developing this ability to suppress your anger also can be done. Al-hilmu bit-tahallum. It's not going to be easy, but you have to train yourself to reach this level of hilm. So he said hilm is tabi'i, natural. For some people, they don't have to exert a tremendous effort to suppress their anger because they got used to it. They know how to control themselves when they are angry. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to a person whose name is Al-Ashaj, who came to visit the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is what he did. The Prophet saw him doing this. He came and he kneeled his camel and he tied his camel. Then he took off 2 of his clothes and went to his luggage and he got 2 beautiful clothes, preparing himself to meet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he put them on and then he walked to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet liked this. And he said, "Inna fika khaslatan yuhibbuhum Allah wa rasuluh." Two characters that you have, that Allah and His Messenger love. said, what are these two characters, Ya Rasulullah? He said, الحلم والأناة. تأني، أنا في التأني، تأني السلامة، في العجلة الندامة، وفي التأني السلامة. الحلم, forbearing, and أنا means patience. You don't rush, right? الحلم والأناة. Allah loves these two things. When he saw him just coming down and taking his time, and he thought about wearing the best of his clothes to meet the Prophet ﷺ, and he tied his camel, he's like a very wise person. And then he said, Ya Rasulullah, is this something that I gained later on, or I was created with it? And he said, no, you are created with it. Jibilla or Jibilla. Jubilta alayhuma. And it's one of the blessings of Allah. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. That's a blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to whomever He wants. So Imam Ghazali talked about al-hilm, and forbearing, or being patient. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ الْمُسْلِمِ لَيُدْرِكُ بِالْحِلْمِ دَرَجَةَ الصَّائِمِ الْقَائِمِ. Yeah, if you develop this character, hilm, not respond immediately to something that makes you angry, right? Forgiving people and just cool down when you're supposed to get very angry. Normal people get very angry, but the people of hilm, they will just cool down and think how to approach this issue. No, don't have this automatic response. Like Rasulullah, the best example, when the man told him, Ya Muhammad, a'tini, give me. You are not giving me from your father's money. Give me more. Imagine someone speaks like this to Rasulullah. Right? He's asking for something and asking in such a horrible way. And everybody, of course, want to attack him. And Rasulullah said, just leave him for me. He took him inside and he kept giving him. I said, are you satisfied? He said, yes, Jazakallahu khairan. Can you say this Jazakallahu khairan in front of everybody so that I don't want people to hate you? All right? He said, yeah, okay, that's easy. So they went out and Rasulullah said, I gave this guy until he is satisfied. Isn't this true? Are you satisfied? He said, yes, Jazakallahu min ahlin wa khairin wa ashiratin khairan. That's how Rasulullah ﷺ used to respond to this ignorance. And when you saw this Arabi Bedouin coming and urinating in the mosque, everybody again want to attack. Ya, stop, what are you doing? And the Prophet ﷺ, just leave him. Very few people can act like this. Very, very few people. The mass majority of the people will just react differently. But it takes a lot of hilm. Rasulullah said, just let him finish. Khalas. He started, so let him finish it. You run after him, then you just spray it everywhere. So, and وَأَرِيقُ عَلَيْهِ ذَنُوبًا مِنَ الْمَاءِ أَوْ سَجْلًا مِنَ الْمَاءِ. Let him finish. Right? Don't disturb him or interrupt this. But when he's done, just pour on it like a bucket of water. That will clean it. This is hilm. This is just someone who just not, it's not a big deal. We can manage it. This is a problem. We can fix the problem in an easy way. Right? So that's hilm. And in other hadith, Rasulullah ﷺ said that, can you be like Abi Damdam? Is it difficult for you to be like Abi Damdam? He said, Ya Rasulullah, who is Abu Damdam and what did he do? He said, he is one of those who came before you. Every morning he says, Ya Allah, I give my honor, my ird, as sadaqah to people. Anybody talks about me, insult me, backbite me, I give up my rights. I give it as sadaqah for people. In other words, I don't want people to be punished because of me. That's fine. It's okay. It is something that it's difficult, but we need to think about it. عباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا يمشون على الأرض هونا. Some of us said this is a hulama. Hulama means the people of hilm. وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. When the jahil insult them, they just salam. Don't respond to this ignorance. Beautiful hadith in which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إذا جمع الله الخلائق يوم القيامة نادى مناد. All people are gathered in the day of judgment. A caller will call أين أهل الفضل? Where are the people of Fadl? The word Fadl generally means extra, more. Okay, so من كان له فضل زاد فليعد به على من لا زاد له. If you have fadl, food, then share it with those who don't have food at all. But fadl means extra. So, and the people who give extra are the people of ihsan. أين أهل الفضل? Then they will come and they will rush to Jannah. And the angels will tell them that we see you, rushing or running to Jannah. He said, what is that? He said, we are the people of fadl. And the angels will ask them, what did you do? They say, إِذَا ظُلِمْنَا صَبَرْنَا. When we are oppressed, we are patient. And we are insulted, we forgive. And إِذَا جُهِلَ عَلَيْنَا حَلِمْنَا. When someone acts like ignorantly, then we practice hilm in this case. فَيُقَالُ لَهُمْ ادْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ نِعْمَ أَجْرُ الْعَامِلِينَ. Yes. Rush to Jannah, that's your reward. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib also said, ليس الخير أن يكثر مالك وولدك ولكن الخير أن يكثر علمك ويعظم حلمك. Khayr, prosperity, is not to have so much money and children. But al-khayr, goodness, is to have a lot of knowledge and to have a lot of hilm. Knowledge and hilm. آية سورة فصلت ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن. الحسنة and سيئة are not equal, right? ادفع بالتي هي أحسن السيئة. ادفع السيئة بالتي هي أحسن. So when سيئة comes towards you from ignorant people, don't push it with إحسان, حلم. فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. And this will turn your enemy into a good friend when you treat people like this. And this is what Rasulullah ﷺ used to do all the time. All the time. You know, this guy that has been one of the great enemies of Islam and used to hate the Prophet ﷺ so much, what's his name? He was captured after the war, and then the Prophet ﷺ told him to tie him in one of the pillars of the masjid. Thumama, I think his name. Then the Prophet ﷺ would come, lead the prayer, go and feed him. But he observed what's happening in the masjid. And then Rasulullah would ask him, Ya Thumama, what's the matter with you? He said, if you want money, we'll give you all of money. My people will give you all of money. And if you kill me, you will kill someone whose blood is very expensive. And if you let me go, I'll be thankful to you. The next day the Prophet asked the same question and the guy gave the same answer. The third day the Prophet said, let him go. And they untied him and he was free to go. And then he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, when I came here, I hated no one more than you. And now I tell you that I don't love anyone more than you. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And we all know the story when he came back to Mecca, what happened. He ﷺ came and made tawaf, and the people of Quraysh have nothing to do under his mercy, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then he put his two hands at the door of Al-Kaaba. And then he said, Ya ma'ashar Quraysh, what do you think? He said, you are Akhun Kareem wa ibn Akhin Halim. You are a noble and generous brother, and you are also the son of nice people. And he said, then idhabu fa'antum at-tulaqa. It was narrated that someone said to a wise man, I will curse you, right? A curse that will go with you in your grave. You know, maybe you'll write poetry or something. I will just insult you or curse you, a curse that will go with you in your grave. He said, in fact, it will not come with me in my grave, it will go with you in your grave. All right? Because when you insult me, this is not going to hurt me in my grave. It will hurt you. It will go. Because your bad deeds will stay with you in your grave. Masih, Isa ibn Maryam, alayhi salatu wasalam, was passing by a group of Jews, and they said very bad things to him, and he said very good things to him. And those who were with him, disciple said, they are saying bad things to you and you're saying good things to them. And he said, everybody spends from what he has. Okay? كل وعاء ينضح بما فيه وكل إناء بما فيه ينضح. Right? So everybody spends from his pocket. What you have in your pocket, evil, then you will spend evil. If you have good, live good. Luqman al-Hakim said this very nice piece of wisdom. When he said, ثلاثة لا يعرفون إلا عند ثلاث. Three are not to be known except at three situations. Al-Halim at the time of anger. You don't know if it's a person Halim or not until there's something that's supposed to make him angry. Then his response that shows that he's really Halim. Everybody can talk about Hilm, but when it comes to action, the real Halim will be Halim. This is not the Halim, by the way, the food. This is Halim, different Halim. A nice name. ولا الشجاع إلا عند الحرب. You don't know the brave person until at the time of war. Everybody can talk about his bravery and brag about it, but the real shuja and brave will be known at the time of war, right? They said that everybody, at the beach, everybody in the land is a good swimmer, right? Because you're walking the land. So, I did this and I did that. I know how to swim. And to go in the water, then you'll find out who's really a good swimmer, right? The third one, ولا الأخ إلا عند الحاجة إليه. You don't know who is really your brother until you are in need for him. And they say that الصديق عند الضيق. It's the Arabic statement. الصديق عند الضيق. The real صديق, the real صديق عند الضيق. ضيق means stress or distress or difficulty. Then, as the poet said, جزى الله الشدائد كل خير عرفت بها عدوي من صديقي. May Allah reward the crisis, because it shows me who is my friend and who is my enemy. And that's one of the things that we see in our life. By the time everything is going fine, you have a lot of friends. But when you're really in trouble and you need help, no one will stay with you except the real brother, that you can call is my brother. Right? Otherwise, everybody's a brother. And there's a nice story that a friend of a wise man came to visit him. And they were talking, and he brought the tray of food, and they were about to start eating together, and his wife, the Hakim, the wise man's wife, was very unwise. And she came, and she actually took the food and cursed him and kept yelling at him, and then she left. And this man, the friend of the wise man, got very angry and he was very upset. That's very disrespectful. And then he decided to leave. He left. And then this Hakim, okay, so do you remember that day when we were sitting together in your house and the food was there, and this chicken jumped on the table and messed up the food? He said, yeah, I remember this day. He said, we were not upset with the chicken, right? He said, no, it's okay, concern my wife to be a chicken. Just take it easy. I know some sisters listen now. So this is also showing that if you are married to this kind of woman, there must be Halim, really. And Rasulullah again was the best example. There are plenty of hadith we don't mention out of respect, but there is hadith in Sahih Muslim. Sahih Muslim, that the wives of the Prophet ﷺ sent Fatima al-Zahra, because they all complain about Aisha. She was the youngest, and the Prophet ﷺ loved her so much, so they were kind of jealous, and also Aisha's tongue was not, radiallahu anha, it was not easy. So they sent Fatima al-Zahra, the daughter of the Prophet, and she came, Ya Rasulullah, your wife sent me complaining, they asked me to present to you their complaint about Aisha. And Rasulullah ﷺ said to her, would you love whom the Prophet loves? She said, yes, of course. She said, I love Aisha. You love her. She said, okay. And she went back to them and she told them what Rasulullah did. And they said, no, you did not do a good job. So let's send Zainab bint Jahsh. who was the wife of Zayd. Zayd ibn Haritha. فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِنْهَا وَطْرًا. The only Sahabi whose name is mentioned in the Quran. The only one was mentioned by name, Zayd. Abu Bakr was mentioned like in ثانية اثنين, but his name is not mentioned in the Quran. Right? But only Zayd. Anyways, so they sent Zainab, and Zainab was one of the relatives of the second cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, and Aisha said she was close to me in beauty and young age, and also she was beloved to the Prophet ﷺ. And she came, and in the presence of Aisha, she said, I was there, and she came and she presented the complaint of all the wives of the Prophet, and she said, Bint Abi Quhafa did this and that, Bint Abu Bakr did this and that, and did this and that. And then she said, I was waiting until she finished, and for the Prophet to allow me to speak. And then when she was done, the Prophet ﷺ told me, okay, you want to say something? She said, I start talking until my tongue turned dry. I give it to her, she said. And the Prophet ﷺ looked at Zainab and said, you know, she is the daughter of Abu Bakr. And all these things happen in the house of the Prophet ﷺ, and many other things. And those who really accuse the Prophet ﷺ of having so many wives, they don't read this side, don't know how he treated them, how he's very, very patient ﷺ with things that's considered very inappropriate. You know, when Maria Qibtiyya, she lived in Medina but not in the Hujurat. She had her own house, a little far away between the Masjid al-Nabawi and Quba. And she gave birth to Ibrahim, the son of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet was very happy with him. And he brought Ibrahim with him and showed Aisha. Aisha, look at him. He does not even look like you. Well, the Prophet knows that she is so jealous because she did not give birth to any child. But let go. Another time, the Prophet had his guests. And he was in the house of Aisha, and I think Hafsa or Salama sent a tray of food. And when the servant came and said, Ya Rasulullah, this is from your wife, and Aisha was very mad, and she just smashed the tray and the food went on the ground. This in front of his guests. If this happened to any one of us, then we'll be in the family court next day. But the Prophet ﷺ very easily just went and collected the food, and he said to the guests, غَارَتْ أُمُّكُمْ, your mother, because the wives of the Prophet are the mother of the Prophet. She is jealous, because she did not like another wife that sent food. And this is also famous hadith, Abu Dawood and others. When Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, someone came and kept insulting him and cursing him, and Abu Bakr was remaining silent. And then he could not take it anymore. And Abu Bakr, by the way, if you read the biography of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is also sometimes gets very tough. This is one aspect of his personality, with all good things about Abu Bakr, but sometimes he gets angry and react. One day, when he was doing Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ, wearing ihram, and he told one of his servants to take care of their camels and things. And they were sitting with the Prophet, and this servant came and said, where is the camel? He said, I lost it. And Abu Bakr stood up and started beating him. He said, one camel cannot take care of it? And the Prophet was laughing. He said, look at this muhrim, what he's doing. And other incident that shows this was also part of his personality. But he was, it's like nobody else. He was able to control it. There are plenty of stories of people who have hilm, and this includes also Umar radiallahu anhu when they brought a drunk person, and Umar ordered the guards to apply the had on him, to lash him. And then this drunk guy, he start insulting Omar and cursing him. And then Omar told them, just leave him alone. He said, well, what happened? He should actually get more. He said, no, because I wanted to do the punishment for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I'm afraid I'm doing it for my own sake. So let this go. Right? This ghadab, this anger, if is not controlled, then what happened is when people get angry and start cursing and doing this and that, after this they may get calm. Maybe they calm down a little bit. And the Prophet divided people into different categories. Some people they don't get angry easily, and they cool down quickly, and that's the best kind. And some people get angry very quickly. سريع الغضب بطيء الفيء. سريع الغضب gets angry very quickly, and he does not calm down. It takes so long for him to calm down and to apologize if he says something. And some people are fast to get angry and also fast to calm down. So he said the best is those who calm down, those who don't get angry quickly, and they calm down quickly also. But when people cannot do something, right? One of your family members is bothering you, insults you. You cannot do anything to him, and this turns into an internal feeling that's called hatred or hatred. You cannot do anything to him, right? And this becomes hatred. Then people develop this hate to this person, and they don't talk to them. They always talk negative about them. They always wish to see something bad happen to them. They don't feel happy when something good happens to them. This is a sign of hatred. And this hatred then turns into hasad, which we'll be talking about next week, inshallah. Very, very dangerous. We always talk about hasad, how to protect us from the hasad of others. But we will be speaking about how we protect ourselves from practicing hasad against others. So he said hatred then comes when people cannot fulfill their anger, cannot do anything about it. Or someone overseas, you get very angry at him and you cannot do anything. Then this turns into hatred, and which is very also destructive. In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, Imam Ghazali also talked about the virtue of forgiving and ihsan to others. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hadith, beautiful hadith. He said, ثلاث أقسم عليهن. I swear by Allah for three things. Okay? ما نقص مال من صدقة. I swear by Allah, your money will not decrease, will be decreased when you give in sadaqah. When you're giving, simple calculation, the money, wealth will decrease. But the Prophet, this is not the case. I swear by Allah, your money will never decrease because of the sadaqah. And the second, وَلَا عَفَى رَجُلٌ عَنْ مَظْلَمَةٍ يَبْتَغِي بِهَا وَجْهَ اللَّهِ إِلَّا زَادَهُ اللَّهُ عِزًّا. And when someone got abused, and he is able to respond, but he let go for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will give him more izz, more dignity. You can respond, you can do something. Someone did something bad to you, and you can do something, but you decide not to do it. خلاص, I'll let go في سبيل الله. Then Allah will give him more dignity. وَلَا فَتَحَ رَجُلٌ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَابَ مَسْأَلَةٍ إِلَّا فَتَحَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ بَابَ فَقْرٍ. When someone opens the door of begging, asking money from people, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase him in poverty. Right? So that's why it's important not to ask people for money. That's the last thing we should do, unless there's absolute need, of course. And another hadith, he said, التواضع, humility, لا يزيد العبد إلا رفعة. Sometimes people interpret humility and humbleness into like weakness. That's not the case. تواضع, being humble will increase you in dignity, and forgiveness will also increase your honor, and a sadaqah increase the money. And here is another important thing, that living in a family or in a community, any social context, there must be a conflict of interest, because every one of us has his own interest, right? Everyone has expectations, and everybody expects you to treat him in a certain way. But this will never be the case. As we mentioned before, we don't know what's inside of the people. So when you start interacting with people, then problems will happen. Problems will happen. However, forgiving or letting go, giving up part of your right, fi sabilillah, for the sake of having peace, that is a great thing to do. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, I'll end with this hadith. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in the day of judgment, when everybody comes back to life, someone will call from under the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya ma'ashar al-muwahideen, those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. Inna Allah qad afa ankum, falyafu ba'dukum an ba'd. People will come in the day of judgment, believers, Muslims, perhaps from the same family, and they have madalim, backbiting, wrongdoing, insulting, taking something that they're not supposed to take, and so on. This will happen. This is the case, right? Every Muslim community have some issues happening, going on. So what will happen to these people? These people are good, and they pray, they make Hajj, they're Muslims, and these other group are Muslims and they're good. So what will happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call people to forgive each other in order to receive the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, we know that the dua of the mazloom is mustajab. When someone oppresses someone, the oppressed person, the Prophet said his dua will be mustajab. One of the ulama said, Yazid ibn Maysara said, if you make dua against those who committed dhulm against you, then it's possible that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, there's someone also making dua against you because you have been oppressed by someone, but you have oppressed someone else. So if you want Allah to answer your prayer against the one who oppressed you, you want Allah also to answer the prayer of the one that you oppressed against you. You understand? You could be oppressed, but every one of us have oppressed someone, one way or the other. Right? So when you make dua against the one who oppressed you, remember that someone that you oppressed is also making dua against you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes does not show us this, and perhaps, and then he said, in shi't istajabna laka wa ajabna alayk. If you want, I will answer your prayer. I will answer the prayer of those whom you oppressed against you. وَإِن شِئْتَ أَخَّرْتُكُمَا إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ فَيَسْعَكُمْ. And if you want, I will not answer any of these prayers, and on the day of judgment, you will receive my forgiveness. And Allah will take care of these differences. Right? So Allah will reconcile the relationship between the believers in the day of judgment. Oh, you said this about him, but you said also this about him, and you did this, and you did that. And so everyone, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know what? Hadith, beautiful. That these two believers will stand before Allah, one of them oppressed the other. Ya Allah, the oppressed will say, Ya Allah, I need my right from this man because he did this and that to me. He used your authority, his power, and he did this, and it's true. It's true. He's asking for his right. He has the right to demand his right. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him, the one who's demanding his right, look at this palace. And he will look and will see a palace that cannot be described. How beautiful, big, lofty, colorful, beautiful. And this man will say, Ya Allah, whose prophet is this house? Whose prophet this house is? Whose shaheed? He said, no, that's not for prophet or shaheed. This, I said, whose palace is this? He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him, this is the palace for those who have the price. And he will say, who has the price for this? He said, you. I have the price? He said, yes. If you forgive your brother, that's yours. Okay, I forgive, I don't need anything. I said, okay, take the hand of your brother and go together to Jannah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reconcile their relationship between the believers in the Day of Judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our sins. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us develop this character of hilm and sabr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fill our hearts with His love, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our sins. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Comments or questions?
You were saying about the Sahaba who came by his camel and this and you were talking about the hill and you said he asked, did I inherit or was I born naturally? So is the hill is a natural thing?
For some people that are naturally patient and halim, have this hilm. And some people, it's like anything else. We mentioned this in the beginning of Ihya Ulumuddin. When we say, for example, someone has more knowledge than others. Okay, I want to be knowledgeable like him. Okay, go and study. Then you can develop this. Some people are more intelligent than others. Some people are stronger than others. Some people have the, ability to articulate their thoughts and ideas more than others. But all of these things can be developed. You can learn how to give public speech, for example. You can learn how to build muscles and to be strong. So we need to exert some. So yes, Allah give you something that did not give anybody else. Every one of us is unique, right? And I mentioned this story a number of times, that poor Sahaba, Muhajirin, they said, Ya Rasulullah, our brothers, the wealthy Muslims, they are doing things we cannot do. They pray like us, they fast like us, but they, in addition to this, they give sadaqah, contribute in jihad, they make hajj and umrah. We cannot compete with them in this because they have more money. And then Rasulullah told them, you can also give sadaqat. Say 33 times, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, after each prayer. And the wealthy Sahaba heard about this, and they did the same thing. And again, the poor people came to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, our wealthy brothers, they heard about it, and they're doing it too. And what did he say? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قَالَ ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. I cannot do anything. That's a fadl of Allah that He gives to everyone. He has taqwa and has money. You have taqwa and no money. The one who has taqwa and money, yeah, he has the edge, has more advantage. But perhaps Allah give you something that did not give him. Right? Could be knowledge, could be hikmah, could be anything. So use whatever you have and improve on whatever you don't have. So if Allah give you, for example, intellect, and you're using it seeking knowledge and spreading this knowledge, alhamdulillah. But you don't have hilm. Now you need to have knowledge and to have hilm as well. You have no knowledge, but you have a lot of money. Then spend fi sabilillah, then you may compete with the one who has knowledge and teaching people knowledge. And so on. So ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Some people are born like this, generous. It's like in sports, by the way. We see this in sports. Out of thousands of players, you have a player that's like very unique. It's natural. He knows how to dribble and to do all these things. Nobody taught him this. It's a gift. That's why we say gifted. But what you don't have, you need to work on it. All right. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.